A lot of us think of our muscle length as being a pretty determined amount, whether we think they're short or they're tight, and we think their range of motion just kind of is what it is. And today I want to show you a demonstration on how that might not be the case. So science really shows that our muscle length is controlled by the nervous system a lot more than it is the actual length of the muscle. So if you put someone under general anesthesia, and you basically shut down their nervous system, they all of a sudden have this massive range of motion when before they might not have. So this is going to play around with that idea of tapping into the nervous system, giving a little bit of load to the muscle and encouraging a little bit of strength there, and then seeing if we can maybe eke a little bit of more range of motion out. So we're going to use a strap, and I like to bolster underneath my head. So you can grab a pillow, a blanket, a half dome, whatever you have available. So I'm going to come to lay on my back. And for this move, we're going to be targeting the hamstring. And so what we're going to do though is we have to stabilize the spine so that we actually are targeting the hamstring, because a lot of times when we go to do a leg lift like this, we will tuck under at the spine and the pelvis. And what we're really doing is mobilizing those areas. And so, which isn't necessarily bad, but for the purpose of what we're doing today, we really want to isolate the hamstring. So we're going to start with our leg down, both legs down. Yeah, one leg can be bent if you would like. And we're going to feel that our sacrum is heavy to the floor. We have a little bit of a neutral curve in our lower back. You could maybe fit a pencil between your spine and the floor. And then your ribs are heavy to the floor. And the reason I like my head bolstered is you don't want to feel like your head is falling back and your chin is popping up towards the ceiling. So we're going to try and maintain that alignment through this move. So I'm going to just do my left leg, but you can do either one. We're going to lift that left leg with the strap, and you're only going to go so far as you can go without tucking under and crushing your lower back into the ground, because then that just moves the movement up to the spine. So we're going to try and keep that spine really stable. We're only going to move at the hip joint. And for some of us, it might not be a large range of motion, and that's totally fine. So we're going to just come up as far as we can go, feel a nice little stretch there, and hang out here for just a couple breaths. We're just going to hold it here and feel where we're at, breathing. And we want to try and push that heel towards the ceiling just so that we're getting the full experience of the stretch. And breathe, because breathing is important when we're stretching. So we're going to hang out here for, I don't know, maybe 30, 45 seconds. But what we're doing here is this is more of a passive stretch, which is great. There's definitely a place for passive stretching. And then what we're going to do in about another breath here, we're going to load. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep holding firmly onto the strap, and we're not going to let the leg move, but we're going to push our leg into the strap. So what you're trying to do is feel like you're going to push your foot down and away, but you're not going to let your leg move because you're holding onto it with the strap. Then we're going to hold that. This is called an isometric contraction. So we're not letting the leg or the muscle move, but we're activating it. So we're adding some strength and some load to that muscle in a pretty large range of motion. Keep breathing. All right, so you're going to release that push, relax the strap, and rather than pulling on the strap, just see if you can eke another inch out of your range without pushing your lower spine into the earth. It's pretty fun, huh? So we're going to try that again. So we're going to actively push into that strap, maybe 20 seconds here. But what we're doing is we're loading that muscle. We're asking that muscle to move with strength. And that sends a signal to the nervous system that it has the strength to allow you to go into a deeper range of motion, which this is a really cool concept, because many of us have been told you can release that intense, kind of pressure, and try one more time. See if you can eke a little bit more out. And then we'll try it one more time. And so we're pushing into the strap. Many of us have been told that you have short muscles or you have tight muscles. And we think that they are just the way they are, and that maybe through a lot of stretching that we could change the length of muscle. But really, it's the nervous system doesn't let us go where it doesn't feel strong. So your muscles might have the ability as far as the length to go certain places, but it might not have the strength to carry you there. And so that might be why it's not letting you go there. You can release. And then just see, you can just play around. You might eke out a little bit more, you might not. And then you can release. You can do the other side if you would like. But this is just a fun illustration of seeing how your length isn't necessarily only determined, or the range of motion isn't only necessarily determined by the length of the muscle. It's also the nervous system's knowledge of the strength that it has to carry you there. So playing around with strength and loading muscles really impacts your mobility just as much as stretching does.